Remember when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was running against Joe Crowley and the establishment Democrats didn't take her seriously? They couldn't possibly understand why any other Democrat would want to take down the esteemed Joe Crowley with all of his fundraising ability and careerism. Well, maybe this will give you a hint. Former Democratic Representative Joe Crowley is joining a coalition to help secure passage of President Trump's new trade agreement with Mexico and Canada. Crowley on Thursday was named honorary co-chairman of PASS USMCA, a coalition of business, trade, and advocacy groups promoting swift passage of the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, which will replace NAFTA. President Trump's former deputy chief of staff, Rick Dearborn, told The Hill that the coalition approached Crowley to join the effort and is focusing on getting Democrats on board with the president's trade agreement. Maybe this has something to do with why he lost? Why he lost despite Politico writing fluff pieces about him succeeding Pelosi as speaker that didn't even include AOC's name? Why he lost despite outspending Ocasio-Cortez 10-1. Turns out voters actually care about the substance of your representation, as Ocasio-Cortez explained to me last year before she defeated him.
This is one of the most progressive voting districts in America, and to be represented by an official that champions the causes of Wall Street, big pharma, private equity is completely inappropriate. Let that come from somewhere else.
And Joe Crowley is staying true to her characterization even though he's now out of office. Because while us progressives have been railing against the pro-corporate trade deals for a while now, this Trump trade deal is no Bernie Sanders vision. No, Crowley is doing exactly what he has done his whole career by lobbying for this trade deal, holding water for big business and corporations. A handful of major industries scored big wins in President Trump's North American trade agreement, at times at the expense of ordinary consumers in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The winners include oil companies, technology firms, and retailers, but chief among them are pharmaceutical companies, which gain guarantees against competition from cheaper generic drugs. USMCA guards new biologic drugs from cheaper generic competition for at least 10 years. That doesn't sound like the free market to me. In fact, it sounds like the Trump administration, with the help of Joe Crowley, is protecting pharmaceutical companies that write them fat checks so those companies can drive up prices and control the market. True public servant of New York 14, Joe Crowley. Thanks to lobbying by the energy industry, USMCA allows oil and a few other industries to continue using a special dispute resolution process from the original NAFTA agreement in their dealings with the Mexican government. Meaning, like the old NAFTA, it decreases the power of the governments and increases the power of large corporations in their negotiations. Lovely. But should we be surprised? This is who Joe Crowley is and who he has always been. He took checks from Wall Street and from big pharma and from all of these industries that have infected our politics, and he was not shunned from the Democratic Party, but praised for it and nearly elevated to the highest position in the House, if not for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's electric candidacy. And despite his loss, he's still using his influence to do what he does best: corporatize America.